Like I heard that immediate silence and I was like, there's a ceiling somewhere. All right. To all my teachers that said I'd never amount to anything, how'd they know? I mean, they're at the parent-teacher conference like, yo, your son is really struggling in his class. But I watched that same teacher roll down the window of a geoprism just to get out. Looks like I'm not the only one struggling in my class. If you can't tell by my uniform, I'm a jungle fever survivor. I can give you the other, this is the other way I start that joke. If you can't tell by my uniform, I've dated a white girl or two. Jury is spoken. Love of my life was Jewish. And I wasn't just dating her for the discounts. I was dating her because she was brutal. All we would is just, we would sit down and talk smack to each other, back and forth, racial slurs, stereotypes. You couldn't offend this woman. Said you were only dating me because you got bagel fever. One day we were having a debate about the economic ceiling. Like, I was saying she had it worse being a Jewish female. Oh, by the way, I live in Detroit. I didn't know. Did that come out, like, was my Ottawa accent, like, being hidden or something like that? I live in Detroit. That might make sense for the rest of the stuff, but. So a Jewish female, it's kind of tough out there, you know, so, but she was saying, I had it worse because I'm a black dude that dresses like this. She had a point. But I was feeling extra silly, and I was like, hey, babe, I have an idea about how I could break out of this glass ceiling. And I take a step closer to her, and I reach toward her face, and I got your nose. I got your nose! She looks me directly in my face and is like, that's not funny. Give it back. That's just the right amount of dumb. All right, let's talk about race a little bit. You know, so I'm a Detroit comic, and I get Detroit comics coming up asking a lot of. I want to say Detroit comics. I get white Detroit comics coming up to me, asking me some crazy things, you know. And here's my beef with time travel. Like, it'll make sense, sir. Like, have you ever had a buddy just be like, yo, if you had a time machine, would you go back in time and kill baby Hitler? Yeah. Have you been asked that question? Not yet? Okay, just wait afterward. Have you been asked that question?
Yeah.
We know, he said, yeah, the question's out there. See, these white comics come up to me like, hey, Jay, you know, if you had a time machine, would you go back in time and kill baby Hitler? You can give me all the arsenal in the world. Who am I sneaking up on? Oh, wow. That Nazi sure is tall. And black. I see a lot of things traveling around the United States. Like I did 6 years in the Navy, and I was stationed in upstate New York. and I would drive from upstate New York and down to the Midwest, and you drive through all this New York State, and it's beautiful out there, you know, with the changing leaves. And I thought all of New York State was like, hey, I'm walking over here. Sadly mistaken, you know. You start really getting to that Midwest, you know, you start seeing signs. Gas stations get few and far in between, you know. Start looking like a scenery out of Mad Max. Crack your windows, you slightly hear banjos. It's dually country. Are we familiar with dualies out here? The pickup trucks with the two big wheels on each side, the wide bottoms? I have a little proverb, you know, if I'm driving behind someone in a dually, I say, that person right there, they can count the amount of black people that they know on their tires. On the front right-hand side of the vehicle. That's pushing it, you know. So you start getting into those areas, you know, it gets, you know, gas stations few, you know, looks like that might be the last place that you ever, you know, and you gotta, say you got a tinkle, you know, you gotta start asking yourself questions like, do I have waterproof seats? I didn't have waterproof seats at the time, so I rolled the dice. I went to one of these gas stations and I walk in, and I gotta be honest with you people, I can say that. I gotta be honest. Like, I'm a grown man. I don't have a pee-pee dance. You know, like I call it the OJ shuffle. It kind of goes. You get away with murder. No, anyway, listen. Back on track, you children. I get into this gas station. I'm like, hey, miss, where's your restroom? And she says something to the effect of, Now I don't speak West Virginian, so I just followed her hand. And I get to the restroom, I get there, you know, and every guy can attest to this. You know when you're like pinching one off and you're barely getting there and you finally get there, you know, you get to the stall and you start, you know, your eyes roll in the back of your head. You're halfway through Narnia, you know, like you're just, oh. So I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings, and as I'm coming back from my trip, I start surveying it. Hopefully no one's eating. I start surveying this restroom. It's disgusting. Like, I'm not gonna get too graphic, but wherever there was water that came out, it was like this yellow discoloration, yellow-brown discoloration. Terrible. The sink, the stalls, the urinals. But here's what I saw. I'm not lying to you. Here's what I saw. Right above the sink, right above the stalls, it's... Do not drink water. Water is unpotable. Who was their target audience? What, Jimbo and Jethro were famished one day, started lapping it up from the toilet? Get a tummy ache? Die? They hold a town hall meeting, we gotta do something about it. I know, put up a sign. Could they even read it? And I knew I had to make a decision. Right when I finished conducting business, I had to make a decision. I decided to do the right thing. I snatched down those signs and I installed sippy straws. Sometimes God needs a little help. I got you, G. I can't be the only one thinking this. I can't be the only one thinking we're on borrowed time right now. Just a few years ago in the United States, we had kids eating Tide Pods. And America was like, hey, Tide, stop making those pods so sexy so these kids will stop eating them. I think we went the wrong direction. We should have had an all-you-could-eat contest is what I'm screaming. $10,000 to the first place winner. $9,999 to the second place winner. Do you see where I'm going with this? Let's get that funeral business booming. You see those little packets in there on those packages that you get, the silicon packs? Who was munching those things up? Oh no, we can't have that. Let's put do not eat. You think words are stopping them? What? If you get some McDonald's coffee, it has to say caution hot coffee. Don't worry, I'll tell you an exaggerated story. Back in the day, a lady goes through the drive-thru and she says, hey McDonald's, I'd like some coffee. And do you know what they did? They gave her coffee. And she took that coffee and she put that coffee right here. Sorry for the eye contact. Put that coffee right in her lap. First and foremost, I don't trust a person that doesn't have cup holders. She drives off, hits a speed bump, burn her cookies. Just looking like a Ken doll down there. She had to go to the doctor's office, get reconstructive surgery, and she's pointing on the chart. I'll take the Michael Jackson. And here's the last straw. I'm just gonna leave you with this. Here's the last straw. I was at one of these rest stops. Fancy rest stop too, nice and clean, bright. And I'm in the men's room, and I look over to my right and I see it, and it appalls me. There was a baby changing station. Like, we're trusting men with babies? But right there at the baby changing station, I saw it. It said, "Do not leave baby." It didn't stop there. There were illustrations. There was like a picture of a dude going like this, a little baby like, "No," and a circle with an X through it. Good people of Ottawa, if we're down to photos, we've already lost the battle. The call is coming from inside the house. I'm Jay Hunter. Thank you so much.